and gentlemen, Cécile van Oppen. Cécile is an author, a speaker. She's also an advisor, a consultant, a sustainability professional who is constantly on the lookout for ways to create breakthrough innovation by means of collaborative business models. What I want to know, Cécile, is how often do you actually use the word sustainable on a daily average?
I try to be very unsustainable about using the word sustainable. I try to not use it, actually.
That is so cool. What is the most challenging thing for you personally, well, professionally, personally, about changing the status quo? What's the biggest challenge?
I think the most difficult thing is really that everyone kind of accepts the status quo.
Oof, yeah.
And
which is why it's a status quo.
Yeah, which is why it's a status quo. Whereas if we're able to challenge it and we feel the power that we can make a difference, we can change the things that we've created, there's immense impact to be made. But this resistance that people think you're crazy, that is difficult.
I was going to ask, who are you most looking forward to seeing in a bit? But actually, the question could also be, who are you looking forward not to see? Because one of your speakers is not physically going to be here, right?
This is true. This is true.
Shall we kind of keep them in suspense?
Yeah, we can keep them in suspense. We have 4 amazing speakers that are all challenging the status quo, and that have definitely not had a very linear path to what they're doing today. I think they're all very successful in what they do. But the question is, what is success?
Okay.
But I'll leave you on that note.
True. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you. It is November 2020, the second lockdown in the Netherlands, and I feel, for the first time, my baby's heart thumping against my chest. The rapid thumps of a little baby heart. I was holding him, his pinkish skin, not yet clean. I was trying to catch a glimpse of how beautiful he was, because obviously he's the most beautiful creature ever made. And then, within minutes, my baby was taken away from me. There was a healthcare worker, of course a face mask, trying to make something clear to me. Big eyes. I see her mouth kind of moving behind this face mask. And when she thought I understand what she was saying, 10 more healthcare workers stormed into the room. Next thing I know, I'm lying with huge lights above my head, and someone's putting a mask over my face, and it's dark. My next memory is fighting the anesthetics in recovery, not being certain of what had just happened. Did I give birth to my baby? Where am I? Where's my baby? Where's my husband? What the F just happened? And the thing is, if I wasn't privileged enough to live in Western Europe, if it wasn't for modern healthcare, I would not be here with you today. And I'm probably not alone. Just give me a quick show of hands, because I'm sure I'm not alone. Who should technically not be here today if it weren't for modern healthcare? Just give me a quick raise of hands. See? That's quite a lot of people. And it really makes me think sometimes how much we've created as humans. Because at least we've extended my life not once, but 3 times. And I remember reading this article in National Geographic shortly after my baby was born about the mass that everything we've created as humans, I'm talking about buildings, roads, infrastructure, cars, plastics, electronics, actually outweighs the mass of all of life on our planet. So not just humans, no, but also animals, fish, plants, trees, everything. And it's kind of like this scale. We're kind of tipping out of balance, and especially if we do a little thought experiment. And on the life side, let's call it the right for you, the left for me. What if we single out humans on the life side? That means that us humans have actually created all this mass on the other side that is causing the scale to tip out of balance. And the interesting thing about this balance as well is that, well, we're really good at lifetime extension of us humans, which, by the way, I'm very grateful for. We're not so good at lifetime extension of the stuff we make. And it wasn't always like this. So let me take you to the longest burning light bulb in history. It doesn't look like this. This looks a little bit nicer. But it has been burning for 121 years in the California Fire Department. And that is in stark contrast to the way we're dealing with stuff today. Because did you know that we, us humans, produce over 50 million tons of e-waste every year? And if, like me, you're a little bit challenged to think, how much is that? It is actually equal to the weight of every commercial airliner ever made. And this is not the total. We do this every year. And then just think about that only 20% of that e-waste actually finds its way back to formal recycling processes. And I refuse to believe that there are product designers out there that want to do this. I refuse that the product designers find it fun to make products to break within 3 years, something we like to call planned obsolescence. And the thing is, I've been working in the topic of the circular economy for over 15 years. 15 years ago, I was sort of starting on this topic of sustainability, there I used it, is actually more than just the energy transition. We should be looking at the materials. Recent data even shows that 45% of our carbon emissions are not in the energy that we use here or in the mobility that we use. They're in the stuff we use, the stuff we make. And for the first 5 years of working on this topic of the circular economy, I was very much focused on the circular side, the materials side. But then something happened. It was growing inside of me, and I wasn't listening. Until a little over 10 years ago, there was a massive tumor the size of a coconut growing in my right ovary, nearly causing an intestinal lockdown. It was benign, don't worry, but it did almost kill me. And that was a real game changer for me. And that was when I had my second extension of life. And I decided, you know what? I knew something was wrong with the economy. I knew it was incentivizing planned obsolescence. But I'm not just going to sit here and let it happen. I'm actually going to try to make a difference. And I want today to actually share two of these, fallacies of the economic system with you. And I'll also share with you how I'm actually trying to make that change. So first of all, we're constantly focused on growth, making money, 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 money. But how is growth even feasible on a finite planet? Because we only have one of these, and it's Earth Overshoot Day today. That means we've already used all of the resources we need for this entire year today. And the thing is about economic growth, it's kind of an imperative. It's not that we're looking at the things we want to grow, we're growing for the sake of growing. And me, for one, having had that tumor in my ovary, I know that growth isn't necessarily a good thing. And the growth isn't just there, it's exponential. So if you look at graphs of world GDP since 1950, you actually see these graphs exponentially growing. And this exponential growth is paired with exponential resource use, exponential energy use, and that also means that we're having an exponential negative impact on our environment. And you would think with all this exponential growth, we could have solved inequality by now. Sadly, that's not the case. And just to give a short example, in the COVID crisis alone, the first year of the pandemic, 20 million Americans lost their jobs, and the 650 richest Americans, the billionaires, saw their wealth grow by 35%. The second thing I want to talk to you about is taxes. And trust me, I used to find taxation the most boring topic on the planet. But there's actually something interesting about taxes, because as I was working more with entrepreneurs and businesses in circularity and trying to get them to really maintain and repair their products, they were saying, Cécile, it's just not a feasible business case, and it's because of taxation. The thing is, we've created a taxation system here in Europe where we tax labor extremely high, and we don't actually tax the resources we're using or the pollution we're creating. Now, if we were to shift those taxes, lowering the taxes on labor and increasing the taxes on environmental pollution and resource use, you can actually see the business case flip, and we have evidence of this. And now you may ask, gosh, this is all so far away. This is so big. How are we even going to have an impact on this? And I think too many people see the economy as a given. The thing is, I started small, intentionally small. I started so small, we didn't talk about what we were doing. 10 years ago, my business partner and I started a consulting firm. And the 5 years before, we had been colleagues in a fairly linear consulting process, selling more and more consulting work or hours to the same clients, creating wealth, of course, for our bosses. But we decided, you know what? We're going to throw that model overboard. We're going to be our own little degrowth experiment. We're going to build a consulting company. We're going to never be more than 15 consultants. We're only going to work 4 days a week. We're going to try to be obsolete for our clients. And when we're no longer needed, we're just going to quit. We're never going to sell our company. And the interesting thing is that we've started to be a little bit more vocal about this. And what we're also doing is we actually see that the economic system that I've talked about, it also needs some consulting. But no one's ever going to ask, hey, could you pick up a project to kind of see how the economic system could be shifted? So what we do is we actually take the margin that we make off of our consulting work, and we reinvest it into this type of research, activistic research, to prove that a different business model is actually more aligned with our climate goals, our circular economy goals, and can actually also create a more equal system. And this is within reach. And I've been talking a lot about the economic system here, and you might think, I thought she was going to talk about tech. Quite frankly, I had the same question when I was asked to be the host for this theme, because I am probably the least tech-savvy millennial out there. But I want to kind of broaden the scope of tech with you. I don't want you to just look at tech in the most literal sense of the word. I want you to look at tech at everything that we've created as humans that we can also recreate. And that includes our societal systems, it includes our institutions, it includes our economy. And in this theme, we're going to be talking to 4 amazing humans that have all really challenged the status quo. They haven't accepted it to be as it is. One of them is even practically a martyr. 4 amazing and inspiring humans. And I don't want you to just listen to what they're doing. I want you to listen to them and feel the courage within yourself to also make a change and not accept the status quo. The thing is, time is our only challenge. These are the famous climate stripes showing from left to right how warm the globe is getting. And the question is, if, like some of you, you're living on spare time just like me, how are you going to spend that spare time? Are you going to spend it to do some good?